What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back as usual with the Mariners post-game recap. As always, before I get started, please drop a like, drop a sub if you're watching the videos and you're not subscribed yet. And just if you want to support the channel, appreciate everybody that does. Whether it's 30 views or 300, I appreciate everybody that watched. Truly does mean a lot to me. The fact that anybody wants to listen to me talk about the Mariners for 20 minutes means a lot to me. Comment, keep commenting. Appreciate everybody that does. I enjoy the interactions. I enjoy some of your guys' thoughts on the games as well. So keep those coming for my videos as well. So thank you again to everybody that does that. The vibes are good. The Mariners win it 6-3 today. They improved to 28-25 on the season. Now 3 games over 500, 6-1 in the homestand. They win this series against the Pirates. And they get their first walk-off win of the year. And I know this wasn't a one-run game technically, but they're starting to win those close games. That's why I do mention sometimes luck is involved when you're struggling in one-run games. Now, again, this isn't a one-run game, but you could count it as that in a way. They're starting to win these type of games. The Mariners were not going to be the worst team in baseball in these close games. Now, I don't expect them to be 80-20 or whatever it's been the last 2 years where they've just been insane in these close games, but they should at least be 500 in them. So they're starting to trend back into that and get a big win. They win the series, like I said. Now a huge series with the Yankees starts, and good to see this team now 3 games over 500, starting to establish themselves closer to being in a firm over 500 territory and not going back and forth. I will say before I get into anything with the Eugenio Suarez walk-off home run, I did predict yesterday in my video that Gino would homer today. Didn't say it would be a walk-off or anything, but going to toot my own horn for 5 seconds. All right, enough tooting. Let's get into the game. Let's start with the pitching as we always do. Marco was solid. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Just a solid outing from Marco. It's what you expect. It's what you want from a back-end starter. He got you into the 6th, was close to getting through 6 innings, took care of business. And I don't believe in, if you just take out Marco's bad outings, he'd be great. That's not fair. Those outings count. But his ERA is definitely being bloated by a few really bad starts like Boston, Toronto. Marco's been the same pitcher he's always been. So that's always my thing with it. If you have a problem with Marco, that's okay. I don't think Marco's great. I would love it if Robbie Ray was healthy right now and you could move Marco down or kind of have him as a swing starter. That would be amazing. But you don't. And Marco's the same pitcher he's always been. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to nibble in a good way, like he's trying to hit the corners. And when he's on, he can be really solid. When he's not and he's just having to throw the fastball, yeah, he's going to get pummeled, especially in a hitter's park like Boston for that start or against a great lineup like Toronto. It's going to happen. Listen, but everybody that's like, how can they run Marco out there? He's a perfectly acceptable, he's a 5th starter. Marco's not their number 1 or their number 2 in this rotation. If the playoffs began tomorrow, let's say the Mariners were in it, Marco's not in the playoff rotation, guys. Take a deep breath. It's a 5th starter. He is just fine. He's done a nice job in this homestand. Should have had a W today. Unfortunately, the bullpen had some hiccups. Matt Brash has looked really good his last few outings. Came in, got the last out of the 6th. I'm not quite remember who was he struck out. It might have been McCutchen again. I don't remember, but great job by Brash. The command the last couple times. Now, he's only pitched a third of an inning the last 2 outings, but you can see he's better locating those pitches, that slider. So hopefully he's starting to get that back because they could really use Matt Brash being dominant again. So it looks like he's getting back to that. Gabe Spire with a solid shutout inning. Then the Mariners ran into a little trouble. Justin Topa gave up what should have been an infield hit and then a runner at first, but it was an error on JP with McCutchen up. Then Reynolds triples down the line. It's not like Reynolds crushed the ball, off the fence 400 feet. It was a triple down the line. Like, Topa wasn't great, but then he struck out Connor Joe. So, an error, a triple down the line. Like, I'm not mad at Justin Topa or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there going, they got to get Topa out of high leverage spots. It's just one of the things that happens when you're a reliever. Good job by Scott to go to Paul Sewald there after Connor Joe struck out with Zawinski coming up and a crucial spot. You've got 1 out, runner at third, less than 2 outs. This is the biggest moment of the game, and Scott went to his best pitcher in his bullpen, and that's Paul. And that's, normally that's probably a Munoz spot, but that's a good situation. Don't just be a save for the slave, or a slave for the save, excuse me. You're not just playing to get, Sewald's got to pitch in the ninth because that's the last 3 outs of the game, and that's the save situation. The game was on the line right there. Now, Sewald ended up throwing a wild pitch, and Zawinski scores, and it's 3-3, so, he didn't quite come in and I don't want to say he didn't get the job done because they got out of it 3-3. It's, not the end of the world. And Paul did have 2 strikeouts, so he did a good job, but yeah, he allowed the run to score, but that's a good spot to bring in Paul Sewald there. Good job by Scott Service. If you hold the lead 3-2, then you can have someone else start the 9th inning without runners in. So I thought that was a smart move by Scott. And it did work out. You can say, oh, no, it didn't. Paul get thrown. It did. They got out of the inning 3-3. They were able to use Trevor Gott to start an inning instead of with runners on. And the Mariners bullpen held it down, and they won the game. So, I thought it was a smart move there. Gott ran into a little bit of trouble in the 9th. Got out of it. Saucedo, great job in the 10th, gave up the base hit to Reynolds, and he had first and third with nobody out, and he wiggles around it with a strikeout, I believe strikes out the side, including a great pitch to Key Brian Hayes to strike him out in the top of the 10th inning on a 3-2 pitch. So great job by Taylor Saucedo, who has done a fabulous job since coming up. Topa, Saucedo, Spire have really been unsung heroes this year for this team. Talk about how much Bryce Miller's meant and then the Jared Kelenic development. But these guys in the bullpen have taken over tough roles because the team has lost Munoz. Diego Castillo was not good this year. Matt Festa struggled out of the gate. Penn Murphy's been hurt. So you had these guys step up and do a real nice job for the team. So kudos to them. Offensively, 6 runs, 7 hits, 5 walks for the Mariners. Obviously, the big 3 runs coming in the 10th inning. I'm not going to sit here and say the offense was amazing early on. They put 9 base runners on in 5 innings against Ortiz. The Pirates' bullpen's actually pretty good. And you had Bednar pitching an inning. He's going to be tough to score off of. So I thought the offense did its job. JP was 1 for 4 with a walk and a couple runs scored. Ty was 0 for 5. Julio, 2 for 5. He homered twice in this series, his 9th home run of the year. We talked about Julio starting to get out of it a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot, actually. He has been, this homestand has been Julio Rodriguez. The Julio Rodriguez we expected to see and that we saw last year. A little bit of a tough at-bat in the 10th where he struck out with JP on third with 1 out. That kind of stunk a little bit. But Stevenson's got a pretty good arm. He can strike you out, he's got good stuff. So I'm not going to just bash Julio, especially after the game. He had 2 hits. He had a home run. At the end of the day, Julio had a really good day, but would have been nice to see him get JP in from third there. Kelenic was 1 for 3 with an RBI double and 2 walks, so he reaches base 3 times. And then obviously the hero of the afternoon, Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 4 with a 3-run walk-off home run, the Mariners' first walk-off of the season. He also added a walk as well. Gino has been so close on this homestand to some home runs, so he crushed that thing. I'm assuming it was a no doubt about it, though, if looking at StatCast and everything on it. But what a bomb from Gino, his 6th of the year. He could easily have 9 or 10 home runs. I'll be honest, in the beginning of the year, I was a little worried about Gino. It just didn't look like the pop was there. But the last few weeks, it's been there. He's just missed. He got a home run in Atlanta, got one today. So he's a couple more feet. He could have 8 or 9, 10 home runs easily right now. So I'm actually not worried about Gino anymore because the extra base hits are there. You know what I mean? They're starting to come along. You're seeing the slugging of Gino start to come. Cal was 1 for 4 with the home run. Good to see. His 8th of the year, I believe. Yeah, his 8th home run of the year. That was good to see. Teo was 1 for 4. Murphy 0 for 2 with a walk. Trammell pinched hit 0 for 1. Caballero was 0 for 4 at the bottom of the order. Not a big deal. Listen, the big deal here is this team's now 3 games over 500. They're starting to establish themselves as a clear winning team. I hope we're kind of done with that. Ooh, win over 500, lose 2 under, back to 500, 1 game over, ooh, lose, back to 500. And now we're just got this team fully in the over 500 mode. And so far, a great homestand. They're 6-1 in this homestand. And this is what, listen, I know they're not in a playoff spot right now, but this is the whole, they're not going to get another 14-game winning streak. They don't need that. They just need to win some series, win a homestand. I'd love to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees and go 8-2. I'll take that. And you're in a good position to do it. You don't have to face Garrett Cole. You're going to have, let's see, I think Logan goes tomorrow, Bryce Miller and George Kirby. So you feel pretty good about the three arms you're throwing out there. And a chance to win a series, maybe get to 30 and 26 here and get back going a little bit. So, they don't need 14-game winning streaks. They need what they're doing right here. Take care of business against a bad team in Oakland. A Pirates team that's played a little bit better. You bring them in, you take the series. Everything I've wanted, they've done so far in this homestand. And, 8-2, 9-1 is not crazy. And that's... And it sounds like a lot to go 8-2 on a homestand. It is, but they don't need this massive winning streak. They just need to win series. And they've done that the last two times out. And they're back into a good pace here. I'm going to check the standings real quick. They're currently 5.5 back in the division. Houston's coming on strong. We know now with Altuve back, they're getting better. Texas is continuing the best run differential in baseball. They're continuing to hold on. But, if you can keep it 4 or 5 heading in around the All-Star break, you're going to have a chance there. They have moved ahead of the Angels, which is nice. The Angels looks like they were swept by the Marlins. They've lost 3 in a row. And the Mariners are 3 games back in the wild card, which they could impact this week because they play the Yankees, who have one of the wild card spots at the moment. So they're right there. This, right where they were about this time last. Actually, no, not even. They were much worse at this time last year. In terms of distance back, it might be similar, but in terms of record, much better this year. Now, I will say the AL looks deeper this year than it did last year. Last year, the AL, I won't say it was weak, but the teams chasing you weren't quite as powerful as we've seen. Baltimore looks for real. Texas takes a huge step forward. Houston's right there. Boston, the Yankees. So, it's going to require some work. The Mariners aren't just, going to be handed anything here, but they're right in the mix of it. They're right there with the Angels, the Blue Jays. So just, hang on for now. And let it play out. Just keep winning series, keep winning games, and everything will be good. So, good vibes W today. Good series win. I feel like the Mariners haven't won on a lot of Sundays this year. I could be wrong on that, but just kind of the feel I've gotten. So, good win. Yankees come into town tomorrow. Each series this homestand has got a little bit tougher each time. You start with Oakland, Pittsburgh, a young team that's hanging in there, and now you get the cream of the crop for this homestand in the New York Yankees. So, it should be a fun series. Should be live tomorrow with Rooftop for a play-by-play. That's the goal, barring anything coming up, which I don't see happening. So we should be able to do that. Hope everybody enjoyed the game. Hope everybody enjoyed the series. Go Mariners. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Peace.